Hey everybody. Everybody knows I'm looking for a motorhome. I'm looking for a diesel pusher. And the last one I made a video on, it was the guy didn't know nothing about it, and so I just backed out of it. It was probably a good deal, but I felt uncomfortable. I had a gut feeling about it, so I backed out. So anyway, the other day I'm scanning Craigslist, still looking, couldn't find anything, and then all of a sudden I get a phone call from the guy that I test drove that motorhome. He said that he knew of a guy that had one that I might like better if I wanted to go look at it. So it was at a dealership. It was a mom and pop RV dealership over there in Manteca, California. So I went ahead and hung up with him, and I said, yeah, I'll give him a call after I get off work and maybe go look at it tomorrow. So long story short, minute later, that dealership calls me. You know how salesmen are. No, I'm going to advertise this. I'm going to give you first chance at this. You need to come down. So at 5:30 after I got off work, I go down to Manteca at night time. It's night here by that time. So I didn't really want to do it, but anyway, I said I'll have to go take a look at it. So I went and looked at it, and I told him, okay, I'll come back tomorrow once I did. But he tried to, just like cattle going into a slaughterhouse, he's trying to lure me into the office to make a deal right now at nighttime without me even driving it, trying to get me to leave a deposit. He said, oh no, leave a deposit, leave $500, $1,000 so I can hold it for you, and you know, all that good stuff. You know how they do. So anyway, I said no. I says I'm gonna bring my wife tomorrow and I'll come down. So I made an appointment at noon. So I took a half a day off work to go do this, and I agreed. I liked it. So again, he tried to get me in the office to leave a deposit and fill out an application and all this. I told him I was gonna, if we can come to a right agreement, I would pay half down and then I would finance the balance. So he said that'd be fine. So 10 grand down, it was like $25,000. So I put 10 grand down and our bank was going to finance the rest. Well, it's one of those mom and pop shops where I believe in my gut that he is hurting for money. So he wanted me to put down money, and then the bank wants him to, because they don't know him, wants him to go down the DMV, register the vehicle in my name and put them as a lien holder, and then they would fund the balance of the money to him. He did not want to do that. He started arguing with the bank lady and didn't want to talk with the bank lady while we were there, and I'm thinking, what's going on? She says he don't want to talk to me, he wants to talk to you. And I said, why does he want to talk to me? You're the one who's lending money, not me. So anyway, long story short, and then the other thing happened, that the bank lady and my wife said that those taxes, the sales taxes on this application here, was wrong. And he says, no, that's the way I do it for everybody. That's just the way we do it here. Well, anyway, you're supposed to charge sales tax on any vehicle in the area of the customer lives. Like he's in Manteca, I'm in Modesto. That's our Stanislaus County. I don't know where he is, but it's not Stanislaus County. So anyway, the lady went over this application and called him on it, that you can't do that. You have to make out another application with the right taxes. Well, he got all upset, bent out of shape, didn't want to do the deal with the bank. So anyway, my wife and I was kind of upset about what he was doing, so we went ahead and went out to dinner and then came home. And then I decided, I got on, I said, let's research this guy. So I got on Yelp. Oh my God, that was terrible. So anyway, long story short, I called him and said, hey, I'm not going to do the deal. He says, why? And I said, I'm not going to do the deal. So we're done. You sell it to somebody else. It was a nice motorhome, I gotta admit that. But it had a couple of issues, and he said he was gonna fix it and all that, you know. But I figured if he cheated on here, there's gotta be something else going on. And he didn't wanna, he was really trying to get the 10 grand out of me. And I know why now. So anyway, he took this, he says, he took this on a trade-in. There was nothing on his lot I could see that anybody would want other than the one that I'm looking at. And I'll show you pictures here in a minute. I'll do a slideshow again like I did last time. But you got to be really careful about buying a motorhome from even the small RV shops, mom and pops. You know, you go to their lot and they only have like 1 or 2 RVs. And I'm going to go tell you why. So as I'm driving the motorhome down the freeway, I asked this guy, I said, so how do you know, I'm going to not use their names, but how do you know so-and-so and so-and-so? And he says, oh, they're my cousins. I says, oh, really? Oh, okay. Well, that was the first motorhome I called that was sold. All right, so he's got this calling list. It was a ridiculous, it was a good price. You know, they took a phony picture probably and put a good price on it just to get people calling. So I fell for that. You know, if it sounds like a duck, walks like a duck, it is a duck. So anyway, I called, okay, well, I'm sorry. He said, I'll keep your name if anything comes up. Well, then that one I test drove that I had a bad gut feelings, that was this other guy. He says, oh, this guy wants you to come over and look at this. He says he's going to put it up for sale. So I went over there and I test drove it. Of course, he couldn't answer no questions, so I backed out of that deal. Well, then these guys are cousins. So what they're doing, they got a little ring going around with this Craigslist. I'm not shopping off Craigslist anymore, by the way. But anyway, they're all in cahoots together. So then he was going to go, he said, I have a part in Sacramento for this motorhome to fix that leak. And we went down to Dr. George, that's Sacramento, that's one of the RV scrap yards. And I says, oh, I know George, and I do know George, but let me get to the story. So anyway, I says, oh yeah, I used to buy a lot of stuff for my motorhome from him. So he says, oh yeah, I talked to George and he's going to give me the right part. I said, you talked to George? And he says, yeah, George, at the Dr. George at the RV place. And I said, oh, really? Okay. So anyway, now I'll tell you why. George passed away 2 years ago. So he wasn't talking to George. So I caught him in another lie. And then there's just a couple other things. Oh, the power. For some reason, and I know diesel's pretty good, it just didn't have no power. It was almost like it was running out of fuel. And I looked down at the gas, the fuel gauge, and it was on empty. And the air leak. So he said, oh no, that's because of the air leak. And I said, no. I says, I think it's got air in the line, fuel line. I think it's you know, no power because no fuel. Air in the fuel line, or it's a dirty fuel filter or something. Oh, no, well, whatever it is, we'll fix it. So anyway, I love the motorhome. I got to tell you, I'm not supposed to fall in love with the motorhome, but this motorhome I really did like. My wife, on the other hand, she was uneasy as soon as we went into his office, and when she said how much, she already knew what the taxes were going to be because she did DMV work for me and my business when we had a dealer license and selling cars. So she already knew what it was. And whenever he says it was so many dollars, and she says, no, that's wrong. And then he says, well, that's the way we do it here. So anyway, she wanted to walk out right then. And I should have probably did it too, but I said, calm down, calm down. You know, I told you he's a fast talker, he's a salesman, you know. So anyway, long story short, we backed out of the deal. He called me, this was like at 5 o'clock after dinner. We went out to dinner to talk about it. Him and his dad called me like 4 times trying to give me the deal, and they told me they would drop it down to $21,000. They would give me the title, which they did show me the title. I have the title, copy of the title right there. Give me the title, let me go to the DMV, put it in my name and in our bank's name, and then I give him the $10,000, and then as soon as it's in my name, I show the bank the registration, they would fund the balance of the money to him. And I thought, he just didn't want to go to the DMV. I don't know why. I don't know if he didn't have the money or something was up with that deal. And this thing actually had really low miles, but that doesn't matter with a diesel anyway. But anyway, I backed on the deal, and he was trying anything. I said, hey, you know, if that's such a good deal, you could sell it tomorrow. Oh, I don't, you know. So all this, you know, him hawing around, I just felt uneasy. I felt pressured, and my wife definitely didn't like to go with that deal. So anyway, long story short, we backed out of it. Now, so I got dishonest people, 3 of them, all know each other, running a scam, I think. Well, on Yelp, or however it's said, that's exactly what this dealership was doing. And I got some screenshots I'll show you. They take their deposits, and either, anyway, something goes wrong where they make you leave, or you get upset and leave, and they don't give you your deposit back. I almost got my $10,000, which I'm glad we didn't. So, and I would have probably got the motor from him. He said trust on both ends. I'll give you the title, and I just didn't feel comfortable with it, so I didn't do it. But anyway, I am still looking for a diesel pusher. I am going to go to Quartzsite. I think I'm going to go to La Mesa RV in Quartzsite, because a couple of years ago I worked for them. I know them. They're honest. I'm not going to deal with any small dealerships. I think I'm gonna, if I do buy from a dealership, I'll buy it from a reputable one that, you know, has a good reputation on selling stuff. You know, not these little fly-by-night RV. And nothing wrong with mom and pop shops, but some of them just don't get it. So they're gonna eventually get in trouble and go out of business anyway. So stealing money. What they're doing is they're, at the end of the year, you take your total sales for each county and you add them up and you pay that sales tax. So he's doing like 1 or 2% over. So at the end of the season, he's banking that extra money. He's paying his taxes on each county, but he's keeping that balance, and that's wrong. It is just wrong. So anyway, I'm not buying anything off Craigslist. There's a lot of that going on, and I think I'll either buy from a bigger RV or RV Trader maybe, because you have to pay to put your ad on there. So I have been looking on RV Trader looking for a motorhome that's in my price range, which is anywhere from $25,000 to $35,000. An older one. I think this one that I was looking at, it was a this is a 95 model. Anyway, hey everybody, thank you for listening to my rant and raving about this motorhome deal. It's always stressful when you go spend a lot of money. To me, is a lot of money. I don't have the money to throw away or lose. I just have bad memories of years ago when I was buying a big rig. I flew to Oklahoma, looked at this rig, put $4,000 down, then flew back home, and then decided, you know, I don't think I want to do the deal. And of course, he took my $4,000, so that was an expensive lesson to be learned. So I'm pretty leery about putting big money down on anything. But I am going to drive to Quartzsite, Arizona for the RTR. I'm going to be looking around for diesel pushers down there in my price range, and I'm also going to have my van up for sale down in Quartzsite also. I will bring the title with me, and I will be asking $8 grand for it. So if anybody's interested, hit me up. And thank you for watching this video again. Thank you.